How you doing today, folks? First off, like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, comment, because I want to talk to all of you. Now today we have a video of two titans of the industry, two utterly iconic knives. Whether you love them or hate them, you definitely cannot deny their pure status in the industry and the following their name and mere mentions command. Both of these knives have been used, carried, and kind of beat on. So I have a really good idea of how they perform overall, their pros, their cons. Everything is, after all, personal preference, and if you love these knives, it's not a knock against the knife itself or you as a person. If you love them, by all means love them, be happy, and I'm happy for you. Though, to be very clear, there is no true winner or loser in this fight. These knives have sold ridiculous amounts of money. They're both very, very popular, and they're both from the same company after all, so either way, Benchmade is sitting pretty. But without further ado, the Benchmade 940 versus the Benchmade Bugout. Which is the EDC king, which has better ergonomics, better steel, better fit and finish, better edge geometry. Honestly, at this point in time, I don't even really know. So together, let's find out. Alright, so first things first, let's deal with the elephant in the room. What is the prettier knife? The answer is, it doesn't matter. It is your own personal preference if you like this knife, this knife, this knife, or none of them. The aesthetics is a very much of a biased category, and as such, pays no relevancy to our current discussion. Me personally, I think this is absolutely beautiful. I think this is pretty good looking as well, though the backspacer, less so. But there's also no denying that the Bugout can also be a damn good looking knife. And the aftermarket on these two knives is absolutely insane. So if you're not satisfied the way this knife looks stock or through a dealer exclusive or different random variants, you can always writ die or contact a maker and get modified. Either way though, beauty is very much in the eyes of the beholder, so whatever beauty you behold is entirely up to you, and there is no right and wrong answer. You do you. Now, similar to aesthetics, ergonomics are very much based on your own personal preference. We all have unique sized hands, we all have unique features. What works for me might not work for you, or vice versa. For me personally, the Bugout is way the hell too small, and this Knife Center exclusive definitely does have some notable handle flex. Even the CF Elite Bugout has handle flex. It's not quite as bad though. If you really do bear down on it, you can definitely move it. On the other hand, the 940 is 100% rock solid, good to go. It's also a bit thicker in hand, a bit fatter, and that thickness, no matter how slight, definitely does help with that full in-hand feel that I personally love. For me, the Bugout feels good, but the 940 is very, very close to greatness. Because for me, the 940 really has no notable hotspots. There is a very slight one right here, which could use a little bit more contouring, but overall, this thing fits absolutely fantastic in hand. And if you want to be a ninja, this grip works too, I guess, for, I don't know, reasons. But honestly, the 940 is a time-tested ergonomic dream, at least for me personally, and this G10 variant is even better, though the old school is damn good as well. The Bugout, on the other hand, feels very good as long as you have a very loose grip. The moment you start to bear down on this knife, there's a hot spot all along here, this piece right there, this lip of the clip, and there's a particularly bad one right here that actually genuinely hurts my hands. Now with that being said, the Bugout is designed for ultralight backpacking, hunting, military use, etc., to where ounces are pounds. So it's not really designed to be a very hard use knife. So as far as the overall ergonomics with a light use grip, it definitely does feel fantastic. But to be clear, the 940 during a light use grip also feels fantastic. And it feels even better when you really bear down on it. If you look at my hand and you see all these little red spots, all these pieces here, these are all hot spots. And these are all hot spots from the Bugout. The Bugout is definitely not a bad knife, but for our purposes, the 940 wins by a landslide. So, for my size of hand and personal preference, my vote as far as aesthetics and ergonomics very much goes to the Benchmade 940. Now, both of these knives use the exact same locking mechanism, so arguably they should be a draw, right? Unfortunately, that's just not how these knives played out. There definitely is a clear winner among them. There definitely are subtle differences. It definitely is a nitpick at this point in time, but they definitely are there and should definitely be noted. The 940 deploys with a flick and closes with 0 resistance. The Bugout does the same, though it's not quite as smooth. You see, the 940 only requires a very small amount for the blade to actually go down. After that, the lock disengages and gravity does the rest, and as the blade closes, the access lock goes down. The Bugout, on the other hand, if you go just a little bit, it goes nowhere. A little bit more, goes to a half strop. All the way down, it locks in. So while one is a quarter pull, the other one is all the way down. It's very much a nitpick, but it definitely is noticeable and it is there. When you slow roll these knives, you can very much feel the smoothness. You can go slowly and you never really feel any resistance on the actual 940. It genuinely is just butter. There is a slight amount of that glassy pull of the access lock, but I really enjoy that personally. On the other hand, with the Bugout, you can really feel it move. You feel that access lock jerk, you feel a slight amount of gratiness. It's not bad, it's not really pronounced, but it definitely is there. And it is nowhere near as smooth. To be very clear, these are all nitpicks, but they definitely are noticeable. They definitely are worth paying attention to. Because if you're like me and you crave that smooth, slow roll action, you definitely cannot go wrong with the Benchmade 940. Furthermore, my 940 is dead center. There is no blade play side to side, no blade play up and down. Everything is very rock solid. My Bugout is tightened as far as it'll go. It's heavily favoring the clip side, and there is considerable side-to-side play. You can physically see it moving. There's very slight up and down play. That's not very bad at all, but the side-to-side play is genuinely ridiculous. They are the same lock, but one is tried, true, and time-tested, and the other is new and kind of a fad in my personal opinion. If they replace the access lock from the 940 into the Bugout, I think it would make for a better knife, but I don't think they're actually going to do that. So access lock versus access lock. Once again, the Benchmade 940 is victorious. Now, as far as carry, to be very clear, both of these knives carry fantastic. They're both relatively lightweight, they're both relatively thin, and they really do disappear in your pocket. However, similar to the access lock we just discussed prior, there definitely are differences. They are minute, they are nitpicks, but they're definitely there. The Benchmade 940 comes stock with a split arrow clip. The Bugout, or at least every Bugout I've ever seen, comes stock with a mini deep carry clip. For me personally, the mini deep carry clip is a bad design. Now, I know this is very much my personal preference, but I hate how this goes up like this. Now, I understand that's required in order to make the knife deep carry, but because of that lip, I can constantly and always feel this clip. It's not what I would consider to be a real and true hot spot, but it definitely is noticeable. And on the 940, it's not present. However, it's very, very petty because technically you could switch this clip and put it on this knife or vice versa. So in this case, kind of a draw. However, as far as genuine carry, the Bugout genuinely disappears. Again, the 940 also vanishes, but the Bugout does it better. It is lighter, it is thinner, it's much easier to forget it's ever in your pocket. Again, the 940 does the same thing, but the Bugout does it just a little bit better. It's not much, but for this case, the Bugout definitely does win. Alright, now this is arguably the most important category. After all, both of these knives are, knives. They're designed to cut. Now, the Bugout definitely does have a thinner behind the edge profile. I do enjoy the 940's more robust tip. It definitely is much better suited for hard work. Stock on the Bugout is also much thinner overall, and as such, it genuinely is a better cutter. To be clear, the 940 is no slouch. You will get clean, beautiful, reliable, functional cuts on time, every time. But the Bugout definitely does do it better. It's very, very sharp. It has a fantastic edge grind. Behind the edge is an absolute laser beam. I could sit there and shave this cardboard if I so chose. So while again, they both cut and they both cut very well, the Bugout definitely does win, and this time it's not by a small margin. It is noticeable. The Bugout cuts much better. So, Bugout versus 940, the reigning king versus new kid on the block, head to head and tip to tip. Which one is truly better? If you want to go as far as a genuine and true numerical score, technically the Benchmade 940 wins by a landslide. But to be clear, they're both designed for different purposes. This is a much more basic everyday carry pocket laser beam. This is also an EDC knife, minor pocket laser beam with some hard use in mind. The 940's reinforced tip will win against the Bugout every single time, but vice versa, this will outcut it as well. So, in my opinion, there is no true and genuine winner. There's only the knife that you happen to love, the knife you happen to want, the knife you happen to own and to enjoy, and to truly give your heart to. There is no genuine right or wrong answer. There's only your individualized, personalized answer. Now, if I truly had to pick one, honestly, the 940 for me would win hands down all day, every day, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'm also not calling the Bugout bad, it's just kind of bad for me. It definitely does have problems, but it also does have some very beautiful upsides. So, at the end of the day, which one is better? That is something up to your heart, your philosophy of use, and up to who you are as a person. As always, folks, I love you all. Have a great day, take care, and bye-bye.